We're back again with the Impossible Battles series, and this one comes to me from Maxwell. He says, "Been watching your content a long time and was wondering if you're still up for Shogun 2 saves. If so, hope this makes the cut as it's been kicking my arse." Alright, so we're on large unit sizes again. We are the Takeda against the Imagawa, and we're early in the campaign, so he's decided to go south. I think usually I would go south as the Takeda as well. So I would consolidate to the north a little bit, take that town, Shinano, and then I think I would turn south. I think that's what I did in my Takeda campaign. And he's 12 turns in, and he's made it down here to the Hojo and the Imagawa. So he's taken out the Hojo, and he's working on the Imagawa. So he's just shitting on that historical alliance between the three. So we've got Takeda light cavalry, very nice. A unit of katana samurai, blooded and no experience, not grades. So a vanilla katana samurai that's been depleted a little bit. Maybe it's got most of an experience point. And we've got some experienced Yari Ashigaru and some very experienced Bo Ashigaru. Up against Bo Samurai 3 units, retainers. So they have a lot more samurai infantry than us, but we have higher quality Yari walls. They have way better bows. They've got 1, 2, 3 Bo Ashigarus, 1, 2, 3 Bo Samurais, so they skirmish way better than us. And they've got full general units that we have to assassinate, especially this guy, Yoshimoto. So we're rank 3, no sun in fight. That means we can't hold the line very well. Standing our ground is less viable, and we only have 1 unit of katanas to assault with, so I can see why he was having trouble here. This is not a good matchup, really. We are defending against a Sally 4th, and they outnumber us 2 to 1 with a reasonably good countering army, so we have to improvise here, pull something out. Alright, we've got water behind us to the left, and we've got open plain front left. Elevation up here, long length of elevation with some trees on it, front right. Hills all over the place. Impassable hills that we can't really use well. Over here with rocks, that's what that indicates. Signifies.
Iza Takeda no musha domo yo. Onore no yakume o wasureru na. 立ちさばきを天に任せればおのずと運は開かれる。敵軍を地獄に送るのじゃ。敵軍の指揮は藩主自ら取っておるようじゃ。あの首を取った者には褒美を与えるぞ。我が敵は奴らの領主と一門に忠誠を誓う勇敢な侍どもだ。あの者どもを滅ぼすとなると心が痛むが、これも運命のなせる技。仕方なかろう。死神を恐れながら戦う迷信深い者が我が軍にいるようじゃが、気にするでないぞ。目の前の敵を先に血祭りにあげれば死神は満足して立ち去るじゃろう。主君のためにお主らは視力を尽くして戦うであろう。お主らの献身にかなう者はおらん。誇らしい家臣であるぞ。
I really like this format of post-commentary analysis after the fact. Not only does it let me commentate properly and say the shit that I want to say without it being threatened by lulls in concentration, but it also permits me to attack these battles in the most obsessive, spurgy manner possible to pull off what I want with extreme single-minded focus. So I might stick with this and see how it goes. Alright, so the battle started and I've got 3 groups, and I kind of stick to the 3 groups approach for this whole battle. I want to dismantle this army using the cavalry and making the most of Shingen's fear effect, so what I'm going to do is try and pull the army apart and defeat it in detail, divide and conquer, because this massive homogeneous mass of shit is just too much to overcome. it could be worse, like they could have even more than what they do right now, but this is just about what I would take on realistically. For the guy that submitted it, it's clear how this could be, for most people, under most circumstances, a bit too much to bite off and chew. But it's just right for me, and I like the idea of dismantling this efficiently, while at the same time setting this guy up for the fight against the survivors by trying to preserve the bows and the katanas for the fort assault that's going to come after this. So what I'm doing is making a run for that long steep hill with trees on it with the Yari Ashigaru. I'm keeping the Yari Ashigaru together to be cohesive so they can support each other, and it will anchor my battle plan. If I can hold the high ground with trees on it with Yari walls, I'll always have that as a fallback and I can play off it. So that's the third partition. The more active two partitions are the cavalry and the bow katana combination, which don't actually play a big part in this fight. It's really surprising what I pulled off with so few resources that I actually end up utilising for this fight. It's actually quite mind-blowing if you subtract the units that don't really play any part in this fight from the pre-battle screen and from the end of battle analysis, and just think about it in terms of what participated. Yeah, I'm quite proud of this one again, just on that basis. So I've succeeded here in drawing off half the army for the Yari component, the Yari wall and the hill group, and I've also got some units coming towards my cavalry with Shingen, and I'm baiting the bulk of the army away to the corner of the map with the bows and the katanas. I don't want them to get into a confrontation, the bows and the katanas. They can disappear into the trees at the corner of the map if they have to, and then that chunk of the army that's went after them will give up the chase. What I've done here on this side is pretty good as well, by dividing this half of the army into two pieces, because I've got 3 units of melee infantry chasing after my cavalry, and they are now estranged, cut off. They can't help anywhere. I can abandon those units I can run away from them with my cavalry, and they're stranded, estranged. And what I want to do is have them support my Yari walls up here. So I'm going to try and charge down off the hill using the higher speed from going down a slope, and blitz this army head on with Yari walls, a lightning blitz, while at the same time sending my cavalry up the rear to get a flanking morale malice alongside Shingen's fear effect. And if I do that right, I should be able to annihilate that chunk of the army, which is very Yari Ashigaru heavy. And now some units are going to break off this partition and try and chase my cavalry as well. So I've got 3 tired units there chasing my cavalry, cut off, and I'm going to have some units coming off of the army assaulting the hill as well. So I'm pulling all these units off what is going to be fighting my Yari walls. Yeah, there they go, 2 more units have broken off. So I've got 5 units that are not going to be participating in this fight against my Yari walls, and then I can rout them once I've broken this main block. So I'm going to pull through them and then Yari wall at the last second and try and do my best to assign attack orders. This is where it gets real. Alright. Bring the cavalry in, that's really important. Wherever the lines clash and the fighting gets thick, I really want to have Shingen there. And I just went to put my second group into the trees so I don't forget about them, so I can focus on this. And look at that, I'm sending Shingen right through the gap. We're wavering, everything's flashing. Got units routing already. Oh man, perfect. So I just sent Shingen and the light cavalry through the gap, and everything's fucking routing. And the units at the back that are catching up are flashing. So I just routed this whole army without really killing anything. And there's 3 units at the back that are about to join in the chain route. Look at that chain route. Look at that fucking chain route. And now the challenge is to actually catch these units and kill them after they've ran. I mean, I don't have enough cavalry for this. There's not enough cavalry for me to catch all this shit. It's so... oh man. And there's one unit left there and the fight slowed me down. So it's now a race to catch all of this shit before it rallies. So I need to have cavalry within range to stop them from rallying where possible. And spread out on my Yari units, my Yari walls, my Yari Ashigaru, to try and catch them in the melee and hope they're tired and I can run as fast or faster to do damage. Well, I did it. It worked. It's just about the after effects, and there's a unit there. Fuck. Yeah. Did really well here to protect my cavalry. I don't know how many horsemen I just lost there, but I think it's 1 or 2 at most. Really, really clean. Holy shit. One of my finest chain routes. Definitely. And really crucial as well, because that was half of that army. Maybe even more than half the army. And there wasn't many bows either. I think there was one bow samurai that just got routed, and it was at the front of the block that collapsed. I think they might have went first. Oh, now there's units coming back, god damn it. So believe it or not, I'm actually going to take more losses in the mop-up operation than in the initial skirmish. God damn it. And there we go, that unit shattered there. That's what I really wanted, units to shatter. They just broke, they didn't shatter, and that means they can come back and give me problems. Yeah, that was fucking hectic. It would have helped a lot if the interface was really smooth, because I really needed my actions to go through, my commands to go through, to make the most of what time I had there. And now, what remains of the army is trapped between my groups, my partitions. It's so effective to disappear into the trees after baiting chunks of the army away. And this is good. That unit's been met in the Yari wall fight, fighting uphill against a more experienced unit while flanked. And I'm bringing Shingen over there because that's where the clash has happened, that's where the routing has to happen, and then the bow unit at the back there is being overwhelmed by a combined cavalry and Ashigaru charge. So, yep, that did it. That's it, that's that half of the army wiped. Really, really nice. And that totally shifts it, and we only took about 100 losses there to do all that, so very nice. At first I experimented with fighting from that hill near where we start, just in front to the left, the one with the impassable side, but there's not enough trees, and it's not very good for Yari walls. With Yari walls, you usually want to have space, so you can present a big phalanx, essentially. But when you have just a really awkward slope that's not very long, it's kind of hard to present a lot of Yari walls, a wide face of spears with that height advantage, because a lot of units will end up just flanking and causing problems, and that'll really interfere with the plan of having Yari walls that the enemy meets face on. So that's why I went for that hill there. I hid in the trees at the start to let the army move to the centre of the map towards my cavalry. That's part of why I baited with Shingen and pulled all this shit over to the other side, because I wanted to make a straight line from those trees that had the Yari Ashigaru in, and that slope that they eventually arrived at, and it worked. And now I was going to go for that hill up there that has trees on it. There's a really weird part of the map here that I've noticed from my Hattori campaign, where it's just to the right of the camera along the edge of the map, and you can get on top of a hill that only has a tiny way up, and I was going to try and have my bows sitting on the hill protected by my katanas that guard the only entry point, but I was going to get caught. I couldn't make it in time, I was too tired. And I didn't expect that, but they just sent a cavalry, a general's bodyguard for my group 2 here. So I'm going to just fire a volley into them and catch them with the katanas, and to stop them from fucking up my group 2, the main bulk of the army, I'm committing now with everything else to them. So I close the distance quite well here. I'm catching units in the melee so they don't fire their arrows at me. I've got Shingen in the heart of this blob, and I'm doing my best to just get units in the melee now. So I stopped them from shooting with the cavalry, and then I had the Shigaru follow up, and that lets me move on to another bow unit, so that works. And I'm just shielding my bows there now with the katanas, and everything's flashing here. There's only a few units that are still... Yep, and that's it. And they got a charge into my bow Shigaru, but it wasn't enough. Didn't do any damage really. They failed. Very nice. And that's how you totally dismantle a much bigger army. Utterly annihilated. And we have some units that took losses there, but yeah, that is definitely good enough. Preserved the bow Shigaru, preserved the katanas mostly, still got all the cavalry units. Those cavalry units are still viable for a follow-up fight. And I'm taking losses there to my own bows. Yeah, so now I'm just chasing down the routing units, the shattered units, to get as much damage as possible to make the follow-up easier for the guy when I send his save back. But yeah, that's exactly what he needed. That went from being a really bad underdog fight that he probably would have had to run away from, and maybe even got chased down and had Shingen killed. Went from that to completely overturned the odds here by just wiping them out with very low casualties by making the most of Shingen and his cavalry. Really nice. So there's a lot of potential if you micromanage well. I don't think I really appreciated it years ago, but yep, pushing back the limits, pushing the envelope. Very nice. And that's, I think I killed most of the army. I remember when I saw the first chunk breaking and shatter. Well, they didn't shatter, they just broke. Oh, there's that hill that I wanted to hide on. Yeah, I remember when I saw the first chunk chain route, I was kind of panicked, like I knew I had to catch them, otherwise this would have been all for nothing. It's not good to just route the whole army and have it come back without many losses, so I really wanted to catch as many as possible, and look at that. It worked. Basically caught everything, there's almost nothing left. So for the next fight, we outnumber them 3 or 4 to 1, because we've got 900 remaining to their 400 or 500, so outnumber them like 2 to 1, and we have more bows. So that's exactly what he needed, and now the campaign is back on. Back in business. Yeah, look at that. Easy peasy. Alright, well, thanks for the save. Send me more. I'll keep pulling these off. I like that one. Always like to get to use Shingen. See you in the next one. Thanks to all my patrons for appreciating the videos enough to support the channel. Special thanks to Matteo, Olivetti, Nerdington and the Roadie451. Take a look at my Patreon page if you'd maybe like to chip in, it'll be much appreciated and I'll do my best to reward you with perks.